Loaded. So we're gonna share the screen, and I thought about something very important. And we don't need to wait for the end of the year or New Year's to do this. And it came to my attention. So we're gonna cover health, abundance, and wealth. So kind of like a goal setting, old-fashioned way, but we're gonna make a very effective and efficient one. It prompted me when the BioWell, came into our life again. For those who hasn't exposed so much about a BioWell, it's basically energy visualization device and depict your energy profile from maybe dozen different way. Show your chakra, the energy distribution, and how much energy stored, or some area of the warning sign kind of thing. So it's more like a monitoring device. It's not so much about diagnostic tool. So it's kind of monitoring the point throughout the course of your life. Now, we completely forgot about the BioWell, I guess, because people are not coming here and requesting. And we done it fairly recently, and it was pretty, mine was kind of alarming. And that prompted the rest of the family member, we all kind of did it together. And I think some are okay, but some of us weren't. And it is a good time to kind of bring back to the path, healthy path. It's not so much be super concerning about things, but it's always good to be on a check. I think a lot of things happen, right? We are in a pandemic situation, and without our conscious awareness, we use a lot of energy, and then some of them unnecessary energy, and overburned, burden certain organs and system. So it is kind of a good eye-opening to check it with this, visit things. And then I was kind of surprised, but not surprised. I guess I know it, but it's good to see it, right, in an objective way. Those things could show you in a color and a number. It's very powerful. Okay. All right. So let's see. So we're gonna do. I hope you have a note and a pen ready, because this is the best to do is together, and don't try not to put this off because you won't do it. It is good to do in a slightly systematic way, and the time when you have a lot of encouragement and support. Okay. We're gonna go through the three sections. One is the health. When you're talking about health, it's slightly different from wellness. It's health is more toward our physical body, right? And thinking of your physical health, physicality, vitality, why not? We're gonna focus on what we are grateful, rather than focusing on something that you want to be fixed or anything. What are you grateful for your health? I want you to physically write it down, the top 3 things that you are grateful for in terms of health. So don't delay, right? And I'm gonna put even the music on to encourage. I can give you 3 minutes to write these things down. want you to write down, hopefully there are more than 3 things you're grateful for. And I want you to look back the list and pick the top 2, the most compelling for you. Just circle the numbers, the area. Okay, how did you do? I hope it was relatively easy to come up to the list.
Well,
I
got 5 things.
Okay.
Let's see. Having affordable access to healthy food.
Yes.
Having enough options for physical activities like walking, chores, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Able to get enough sleep.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, enough time on my hands to educate my brain.
Yes.
Like reading and online videos and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Oh, and connections with a supportive network.
Ah. Oh, beautiful. I love those lists, definitely. Actually, some of the lists are same as mine.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear
I was
that.
like, yeah. Wonderful. Anybody else? You don't need to share, but it was a good experience.
Mine were much more basic. Y'all were much more, mine were basically, I take no medications. And that I have no major medical issues, at least that I'm aware of. So that was kind of where I went with health.
That's huge.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's huge. That's great. That's a wonderful thing to be grateful for. Yeah. Yeah, some of the mine was, first list, well, don't be like that because my first one came up. I put the limbs, like legs and arms, that work. And I was thinking, oh, that's kind of silly. Anyway, yeah, so that was a health.
I had I was grateful that even though my immune system is only at 1/3, it's still fighting off colds or whatever comes up.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was grateful that my my body was allowing the cancer treatment to go ahead.
Yeah.
Not fighting against the whatever poisons are putting in me.
Yes. That is an attitude. It's great. Yeah, it's being grateful for your body, be able to adapt and will to heal from it. Okay, I like that. Now we're gonna go to abundance. So I'm gonna show you some the beautiful the I'm losing my word here. The band, I think it's a, if it's not Hawaii, it's in Asheville. But anyway, my tribe in Asheville told me about this band, and she told me that she listened to this instead of a meditation. Sometimes it's hard to focus, and it was a very perfect song to kind of think of abundance in a very different way. I mean, in a right mind setting. So I just gonna share this one.
Seems to me an easy thing for us to say. I think we could say that and mean it. And I think those are really great words and feelings and intentions, because they all have to do with what nature wants and what spirit wants to happen through us, you know. We're articulating and being present and showing up for that next step. Thank you. We are grateful. We are gathered to be able to receive a greater wisdom so that we might be able to help all living things. And that's a prayer.
This is the place for all my relations, to bring celebration, to meditation, giving thanks for all of creation. We are so provided for. 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 All of the blessings I receive, how could they have been bestowed upon me? So I'll put it all back in the ground, back in the soil where I have found it all started. Waku Duncan, scan, something holy moves here on the land. It is my brothers and my sisters' hands. It is the way we make our plans. We don't make them. Well, this is it. What is this? This is Eden. Eden is where I live and where I give my whole being to the Great Spirit. We are waiting and we're on our way. This is the place for all my relations, to bring celebration, to meditation, giving thanks for all of creation. We are so provided for. We are so provided for. We are so provided for. We are so provided for.
And that could be a song, you know, really.
Okay, so I love this song in terms of be able to feel in a sense of abundance. But first, we kind of set our mind straight that everything is so provided for. Like they say, we are so provided for. The things in love and whatever we need are already provided. So thinking about the health is something like a foundational thing. Without a health, we can't really cultivate the right mind, or difficult, right, to sense and feel the abundance. So the abundance comes to the next. After we'll be able to manage the health and enjoy the health. Abundance comes next. Having enough and more. So this is abundance. So I like you to come up with what are you feel so provided for? What is the things that it's just so much, it's just so much of it, and then you are so grateful for. It's kind of similar to the one before, but it was so provided for. What are those things? That necessarily doesn't need to be actual things, right? It could be something you feel or the state, right? So I want you to kind of really write it down. We're just thinking too much. Okay, I'm abundant of these things. Put that down. At least 3. this is a new thing. It's a new thing coming up, and it was kind of interesting. Okay, I think this will be a little bit easy. So, yeah. So how did you do this one?
I've only put down 2 because I was kind of writing as fast as I could.
Yeah, that's okay. Keep going.
But I'll just put them down. I could put 2 down, like stable, artificial, and natural surroundings.
Mm,
It's true. I'm in a very good shelter. Very
yeah.
stable, very largely weather resistant, and
Mhm.
which surrounded with plenty of trees and flowers and everything to give fresh air.
That's beautiful. That's
And
cool.
and then the second one is the functioning utilities: water, electricity.
Yeah.
Um, basic utilities of the household.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 examples.
Yeah. Well, you categorize in a large bucket, but it could break down and many those become like a many abundant list.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's beautiful, definitely. Not so many people could say that. So that's a wonderful. Yeah, it's definitely nice to feel provided for, having abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. Anybody else?
I can share mine.
Sure.
So I did 3.
Mhm.
Always feel an abundance of unconditional love. That's something I've always been super, super grateful for.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yes. And I set a steady job providing my income and health benefits, which I have also always been very grateful for, particularly the past 2 years when things have not been so good for everybody. Even though the job wasn't the best job, it still provided for everything that we needed. So I was grateful to have it. And
Yeah.
then just a steady, I have such a support system, family, friends, tribes, coworkers. I'm very fortunate in that sense.
Yeah. I could feel and see that. It just like emanate out of you. So what do you think about this song? I love this song, but then
That was good.
yeah, it's a very simple song, and anyway, I thought it's perfect for this exercise. Welcome, Mira. We're just going doing a simple goal setting today, so come right on. Okay, so we're gonna go to unless David, you wanna chime in?
Oh, I said, my family is doing well.
Yeah.
No one is really struggling to get by. So everybody found their way, and they found a way to make the money they needed.
Great.
And I had choices in my own situation. I could retire now if I wanted to, or I can keep on working. So I'm grateful to have the
Yeah,
choice.
absolutely. It's
And
one.
I have a nice place to live.
Yeah.
Comfortable, and it's
The cat
close to
back.
nature, and
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I would have a hard time moving away.
I know. That's beautifully said. I totally agree. So many things you said. So abundance it's kind of like it's expanding feeling, but your core is very nurturing and warm. It's almost as if you are in a kind of like beautiful kind of your own environment, and like a big campfire, right? In front, but you are not just only one. Everybody you love all around, right? And it was a plenty of it. It's not like okay, if you don't grab the fire now, it's nothing left. No, it is a big campfire. Everybody just come along. It doesn't matter how many more shows up. Everybody will enjoy these things. So that's kind of the feeling of abundance. And that is just something no one can take away from you. That is another beautiful thing, right? So it is kind of things that put you into the very expansive, mode and mood, the state, kind of being hugged by God or source, Okay.
That seems to me an easy thing for us to say. I think that seems to me an
I think
easy
it's just
thing for us to
repeating.
say.
Sorry about that. The third one is wealth. And I just want to correct the definition of wealth, because sometimes we kind of society created this word in a little bit more like evilish way, right? Like when you talk about wealth, is you kind of associate with a few names out there, kind of like monopolizing the whole thing. But the wealth is something that come after the abundance. The wealth is something you have so much of it and you could share with all. So that's a kind of original definition, or maybe certain, I don't want to say original, but that's I think it's a better way to define wealth. So it is nothing wrong to aim for wealth, because that's ultimately we all aim for. That's something that we're going to share with all, right? So there is no lack of, and it's a beautiful thing. Like somebody mentioned, unconditional love and a beautiful nature, the abundance in terms of stable supply and a shelter. That is something we desire to share with every single being who live here on earth, right? So that is kind of wealth. So this is something that you already may have, right? But it's something that really consciously, thinking, placing in the mind. But I want you to put the things on your map right now to think of the wealth. What is a wealth? What kind of wealth you actually sharing it now, and we're likely going to share. And and while you're thinking, I'm gonna run this music. Okay, so put it down. Could be the word, a list, or could be the picture or image, right? So I want you to kind of think out of the box, kind of looking yourself from the, this high ceiling top and looking down, yourself, and what are you doing in terms of your wealth now? What is your wealth? What are those things?
Well, this is real talk. This is non-stop. It is looped now, tongue and mind, played off the sidewalk, straight to your boombox. How it travels from ear to memory. Well, this is medicine. There's a master's within, and each will find it in their own time. Well, this is music. This is how I use it. It makes you move and move the movement. This is how I focus, knowing it's not hopeless. But it sure starts with me and ends on a whole note. Musical medicine, this is my healing, for past and present, future things to come. I see people stressing over space and possessions, out of fear, the need for visual aids of our abundance. Give me examples or something tangible, something I can get my hands on and find real meaning. Where is the medicine? Well, I've been searching, and I suppose each will find their own kind.
Okay, so how did you do with this wealth? That's something you're sharing unlimitedly to all. And I know each and every one of you has this.
I guess I'll, I'm sorry, I guess I'll go again.
Mhm.
I mean, if that's okay. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is wanting to go first.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see. I actually came down with 4 things.
Wow, go ahead.
Okay, one, I have a very sane mind with practical thinking, memories, a lot of pleasant thoughts,
Mhm.
some reflections on things that happened. That's one aspect of wealth.
Okay, yes.
Now let's see. Monetarily, I do have a part-time job,
Uh-huh.
which is actually itself dedicated to a very noble cause, helping children with autism.
Oh, wow.
See,
Yeah.
there's also records from my life. I've got pictures, souvenirs, mementos.
Mm-hmm.
Which helps the first thing I brought up.
Right.
And let's see. There's this was the final one I put down. Accomplishments. I've got
What did you say?
this is the final one I got.
Uh-huh.
Accomplishments.
Accomplishment, yes.
Yeah, like let's see. There's degrees. I had some publications, photos, a couple of poems.
Yeah.
I've had some performances in more ways than ones. You know, performing in the workplace, performing in socially,
Yes.
and other things. That's what I could put down in the time. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm sure you're gonna have a more.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. It's tough to follow, but anybody else wants to add to it? Go
I'll do
ahead,
mine.
Kara.
I know it's again very different, but right, obviously that's why we're doing this exercise, because it's different. It's our interpretations are different, so that's good.
Yeah.
So my first one I had was like my family lineage and pride in my family, my immediate family, like my relatives. Like I just was together with a lot of people this weekend, and pretty amazing people. So happy to be part of, have them in the family.
Yes.
My second one was a little bit more on the classic wealth, was that, having enough resources on a daily basis. So it's, there's really not a day that goes by that we don't have what we need,
Right.
which is, obviously something to be definitely grateful for. And then the third one, it was more along the lines of sort of a knowledge base that I feel like I have, accumulated over time and continue to learn and broaden, and with the hopes that that will be something that I can have more financial security and more of a chance to, live my life a little bit more on my own terms and not be so bound to my current work still, while, helping others, because I think I have a lot to offer there. Not ready to give up on that, but I'd like to sort of see it in a different light. But I'm grateful for the opportunities I have to help people the way that I do now.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. Definitely gonna trigger a lot of things, right? For others too, as you listing that out. What do you think, David? Would you like to add to it? He's speaking.
David?
David, I think you're muted.
Oh, I said I had a similar one about education and knowledge that I could share. I'm not exactly sure how to do it in the future. And then I had music.
Yes.
I like sharing the drumming, and I liked in the past when I was in a band
Yeah.
and hoping that people got something from the music that we were making.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then I thought about Reiki. That's just something that I learned that I could share with others.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Mira. I know you've been having a hard time in and out. Hopefully your internet is stable enough to kind of be able to go through this exercise. I don't want you to miss out, but we're going through the goal setting. So, feel free to chime in if you're able. Otherwise, you're welcome. Nice to have you in here. So I just want to add a few things that all the listing is beautiful and wonderful. And when we said about even the health, we have a different kind of focus, and it gets kind of more the different perspective become more obvious as we talk about a little bit more conceptual things like abundance and wealth and things like that. But it is good to compare notes and then kind of realize, oh yeah, that too, that I consider as a wealth. Or sometimes other people see your wealth better, right? And then it's so obvious for others, but sometimes it's difficult for you to see through it because you are with yourself all the time. So I think a lot of time people do travel or visit or talk with different people or family come from different places and get together. And it kind of like a comments you receive or things you hear and how you responding to those things kind of make you learn about yourself. So it's beautiful that you all have a kind of right mind and expanded mind to see through and recognize who you are and be able to continue to learn and receive those gifts. A lot of time people are so talented but not necessarily be able to receive, meaning that they can't see the beauty or talent in them, or no matter how much they did, they don't feel doing enough. So those are pretty sad, very a little unfortunate things because those people do not know how to receive. So we have to give, but we also need to receive in order to continue giving. So it looks like you guys are doing that just fine. So it is. I just wanted to mention that. Now we're gonna go through. So it's a little bit different goal setting because usually when we say goal setting, the list of things that to do, and not necessarily it is effective and efficient. So we did that. Those exercises we just done is focusing on the now, okay, and appreciating and being grateful and recognizing receiving your gift that you already have and embracing it. So what do we do here in the exercise? You subconsciously, consciously, bringing in more of those benefit and more of the gift, and then the like things will come to you. So it's gonna be, bring more of your kind and your tribe, and then the more abundance will come on top of what you already have. So you, in general, becoming a brilliant light. And then the more the people who are not may not necessarily be, your tribe will come in because they want to learn from you. They need your help. So you're going to be helping more people, and that will help yourself and bring, give you more energy and deep heart, right? And the different level of compassion and be able to taste life and live life fully in a way that you never imagined before. So this is very powerful way to shape, who you are. They're gonna bring you to even a little bit more deeper level, living in a moment. although we know, all those things, and sometimes we forget because a lot of things happen, things we expose ourselves to those environment that are not necessarily good for us, and things happen. So it is a good thing to have a few tools and tips for yourself, like the toolbox to kind of embrace the moment of now. Because a lot of people are not living in a moment. And that what happened is, end up with regret, depression, anxiety, and then, this goes on. And then, before we know it, tend to live more fear down the line. So just gonna define this living in a moment. And then I have this, tip of my goal that, this well-known song, but the moment is actually not the moment that most people think. The moment people think is now, like what we're seeing, right? Experiencing. That actually the moment that what we think is actually the past. We are observing a past now. It is already past when we're interacting so-called now. So the moment or so-called now moment is actually from this perspective in the future, the closest things you're going to think about things in your head. That is a now, the moment. So the beautiful things is living in a moment is what you are thinking and what's happening align and match. And that is a time when we feel that we are in a state of living in a moment. To give you an example of we are driving a car, right? And this is a routine things and routine scenery. And what do? We are thinking something else, right? So we definitely do, it's a moment. And the past, immediately past moment is not in the match. And then once it's this gap became wider and wider, we start to feel the gap. And this is how a lot of mental confusion and things happen. And one of the worst things you can do is some of your best friend or somebody needs you, or providing, let's say, RAYKI, right? We are, let's say this person is so worried about the technique or something. I'm just giving a random example. I'm not focusing on the client right in front, right? But that is one of the worst things we can do, not being pleasant, right? So as long as you are in the pleasant moment, you are more likely living in a moment, and you be able to fully align yourself and give it the appropriate, the right energy and the right way to every single being or every single things around you. So less likely going to have any issue, so to say. So that is really the living in a moment. That doesn't, you don't need to go skydiving like this song say, but it is a good example because you are definitely focusing on yourself at that point. So here's the things. What can you do? What can I do or won't do to keep this graceful flow that you just keep saying that, the list is all the things. How may I help myself so I may enjoy my life fully? What are 3 things I can do to keep empowering myself and others? So all the beautiful things you said, how can you keep reminding yourself who you are, what are you grateful for, what do you have, and what continue to offer, and living in a flow, right, of beautiful life. So I want you to kind of strategize the tips. If something happened to you, those are things that keep myself in check. So I'm gonna put this in the background while you are constructing your toolbox.
said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me. And a moment came that stopped me on a dime. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options and talking about sweet time. I asked him when it sank in that this might really be the real end. How's it hit you when you get that kind of news? Man, what you do? And he said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. He said I was finally the husband, but most of the time I wasn't. And I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden going fishing wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. Well, I finally read the good book, and I took a good long hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Like tomorrow was a gift, and you got eternity to think about what you do with it. What did you do with it? What did I do with it? What would I do with it? Skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I watched an eagle as it was flying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. To live like you were dying. To live like you were
Okay. So this may be a little tough one, but if you wish to share, that's great. It will help others. Anybody want to go for this?
I can go.
All right.
First, I will just say that Tim McGraw is one of my favorites.
Ah, yes.
I've actually seen him in concert twice.
Oh, you serious?
Yes, yeah. I
Wow,
love this song. I sing this song.
How do you think? Was he cuter than this, or in a real?
Oh, he's pretty attractive. But he's a really great entertainer, and he's actually good live. A lot of them I don't think are as good live, but he has a good live voice. So
Oh wow, that's
yeah,
good.
it was
It
good.
worthwhile to pay that, right? The money.
Yeah. Absolutely. So for the first one, the what can I do or won't do to keep the graceful flow, I said minimizing self-limiting thoughts. So I know
Ah,
that's something I tend to do, which I've been much more conscious of.
good.
Trusting my gut instincts, which I tend to do, and I just have to remind myself that that's what I need to continue to do.
Mhm.
And continue to focus on gratitude. That's always been doing gratitude journals and just being, mindful of what I'm grateful for. Those will definitely help with that flow, I would say. How do I help myself to enjoy my life fully? I have to incorporate more fun. I've always been someone who has not kind of let go and let loose and do fun things as much, because I always feel like I have something I have to do or something should be done a certain way. So I do find, I have one friend in particular, like when we get together, I know that I just have a great time. And when your cheeks are sore from laughing or your belly sore from laughing, like I have to remember to incorporate those, because that's, I have to allow myself to do that.
Mm.
And then what are 3 things I do to keep empowering myself and others? For me, it's a continuous learning. And then the flip side of that is sharing that knowledge. But one of the things that I've definitely, between all of this learning and then through my end of life doula training, is really the approach of, showing up for all situations with an open heart, no judgment, and meeting people where they are. Because I feel it's really easy for us to impose our thoughts or where we are in our life, but that might not be where someone else is coming from. And I feel the more we can be open to looking at them for who they are and where they are, we don't know where they've been. We don't know what plays into why they're reacting the way they are, but how can I just best support anyone in whatever situation, they are. To me, that's living in the moment.
Mm. Yeah, pretty cool. Thank you for taking that. This is a little bit, could be a hard assignment. Anybody else like to add to?
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I figured the first question, what can I do or won't do to keep this graceful flow? Well, there's one, don't get engaged in dangerous activities, either to your health or security. And find things to do that allow you to become more productive without having to give up something already vital to your existence.
Oh,
Yeah, in other words, somebody telling you have to do this, you have to give something up and you don't have that much if you give it up. So I don't do that.
yeah, that's very good.
Okay, second question. How may I help myself so I may enjoy my life fully? Use what is already at your disposal to the fullest without thinking about or even lamenting the fact that you don't have certain things that others have. That does come up a lot.
I see.
Sometimes, well, a number of times, or more, some cases more than others.
I could tell. Yeah, you put a lot of energy on this one. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. As for those 3 things I can do to keep my empowering myself and others, well, I did my best to think about this, and I guess one of them is think of how far I've come and what I've done. Realize also that many others out there are not so lucky or better off as I am right now. And try to find things not only productive to yourself, but helpful to others.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. That's the story.
Wow, that's pretty owing. That's wow. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
It is a high. I could see you have a high standard and think a lot and
Yeah.
try to do better for all. But also at the same time respecting yourself. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you for sharing. David, do you wanna go? Like to?
Sure. For the first question, I just had meditate on it and try to keep a journal.
Mhm.
I haven't been doing very much of that. And how may I help myself so I may enjoy my life fully? I think stop. I guess I'm getting too many inputs from other people, I guess, right now. So I have to figure out what resonates with me
Mm,
and try to figure it out for myself rather than just listening to all the inputs coming from other people. It gets kind of confusing
sure.
sometimes. And I guess I don't do a lot to make myself feel empowered. So that would be something that I would have to work on.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I know some folks came a little late, so I don't want to put them in a hot seat. So, but if you have something, please unmute yourself and chime in though. I just want to add something, David said, in the end, sometimes it's difficult to see yourself, right? But I remember actually so many times, a couple of people came up to me, David, the people who know you from the beginning, that Giko, I can't believe that, David, my goodness, he changed completely. He's more self-assured and confident, right? So I hear those comments many times, and it actually really empowered the people. Yeah, the people don't not necessarily realize, just being, just showing up sometime, empower, add so much energy to the people around. And, I wish those people actually tell it to you, in direct way, so that you know it right away. But then okay, wow, oh, that's great to hear. I feel that too. I'm glad you noticed. And I was next time you see him, please tell. So I guess the main thing I want to say, sometimes it's difficult to see your growth, how far you can run. And Jeffrey said, like, oh, I'm very, grateful, and those are good. This is something that you kind of be self-consciously, consciously kind of checking and objectively honoring yourself. And sometimes it's not necessarily easy, depending on who you are and how you grew up in an environment and how you teach yourself along the way. And just honestly, it's very difficult to see yourself in an objective manner. So, but it's good to share and hear other people say about you and kind of reality check. I usually do when I was very serious about self-checking myself. I usually do in the astral, meaning of in a dream, so that I know where I'm at in terms of how I'm doing with my ego and an actual growth. But it takes a lot of energy to do it, so I won't recommend it if you have a 3D full-time job. But it's one way to assess yourself. All right, I'm gonna stop here. Do I have a more? Oh yeah, the fail-safe goal. But before I go, Diane, welcome. I'm sorry I confused you in terms of time. I'm glad you asked questions. I had an opportunity to correct myself. So great to have you, Diane.
Oh, thank you. I got the last like 2 minutes, but oh well. For some reason the other messages didn't come through, and then I didn't realize that I had accidentally hit it on the airplane mode, so that those messages didn't come through.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's my fault. It was what I'm thinking. I didn't even calculate my, right read, because I was thinking 555. Of course, it's basically 6 of the 30 more minutes. But I was,
Right.
I was thinking about, no, it's almost a 6, but I keep looking at 555. Okay, an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. I was
Oh,
after you
no wonder.
asked, I was like, wait a minute, it's 10 minutes. Why is that an hour and a half? So it was too late. Sorry about that.
Oh well, it's okay. I'll listen to the recording though.
Okay, all right. I'm recording this, so that's some saving grace. And then that's just gonna do that last slide. And every time you're kind of going through this, wonderful way to setting yourself up for success, and sometimes you look back, well, you know what? I haven't done it today or next day, and then it leave us in kind of bad taste. So I want to have just to get ahead of yourself in a future point. Let's say a lot of things, I'm grateful for and accomplishment, and sometimes we forget, right? You have some kind of mind challenge in your head. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Oh, I have these things to need to do before, that kind of, that kind of limit yourself, right? So I want you to come up with fail-safe quote, your own quote, your very own version of a quote to tell yourself. So this is something, it could be somebody's quote, but it really fits you in your own unique situation. Like for example, let's see, every time I'm just trying to say kind of example, those like a negative talk start in the head, right? This is the things I'm gonna tell to myself to cancel that and replace it. It's like a more empowering, higher frequency kind of, the word kind of redirect you back to the right path. So it could be, simple is better. It could be that kind of a theme. And I don't want you to get jagged down just because, you're going to clear this section. It is something that put you in a head, right? Kind of so that when you see somebody else's quote, okay, that's a good one. And jot it down. When I have this negative talk, right, it could be very specific. I will say to myself this. And in a lot of the empowering word, it could be very simple as I am. And I am fearless. For example, I am love. I am power, full of power. I am abundance. I am a being of health. So a lot of time we kind of come across, you start some pain or seeing something in the news or whatever, and it put us in a fear mode or lack of or whatever, right? And then you say those words, repeat, I am, or some quote. And it's gonna become like a fail safe. Any little things it shows up, it's gonna become like a fear or a pattern to before you get to the pattern, or even in the pattern already, I have this quote to tell myself. And sometimes we have a lot of things that we don't want to go back to, right? This kind of program running in our head, kind of flowing. Oh, I can't do that anyway, or I'm this, I can't be like that ever, or any those kind of negative thoughts come into, and then just simply say delete. Delete the program. Delete. Press the button. Delete. Just get rid of it, right? So that's good. I mean, it's a tool, one of the tips that put it in your toolbox. And putting it out, something is visible for you until it become like a routine. So you don't even need those lists anymore. And one of the very successful power speaker, you probably know Tony Robbins, they kind of teach you in the body, right? Every time those things come and you kind of visualize it, say delete button, and you connect to the very simple things physically do, like snapping a finger, like now I can't snap because it's so dry, or, like do this. And sometimes he said that, like he's teaching a bunch of business people, they may not be able to do, big movement in front of the clients, right? So it could be very subtle, tap your thigh, just very gently and delete. Every time that something comes in your head, you replace the I am fierce and slap. It needed to be very same thing. So each time I'm fierce, slap, I'm fierce, slap, I'm fierce, slap. And what are you doing to yourself by slapping your thigh and completely delete out of it? So those are very simple things, but it needed to be simple because it comes back so unknowingly over and over and over and over and over. And I don't want you to defeat yourself because it's very easy, slap and go. And when you come back and 3 seconds later, slap again. And then become a little later, okay, maybe day later, day after it comes up, and then slap again. And then, it becomes less and less, you're slapping your thigh. Before you know it, it's completely deleted out of your system. So it is good to have that. Once you have a very empowering session, how are you going to keep this? And then, well, it's easy. Just press the easy button and it makes some kind of, rule about it. I'm just going to put the 2 fingers together. That's it. Yeah, easy, does it? Easy, isn't it? Yeah. So those are the fail-safe quote was movement, move to myself. I have this RIP things in front because, oftentimes we catch ourselves less motivated, probably not you, but sometimes, we're less motivated. And one of the best way to motivate yourself to bring yourself in the funeral scene. You just simply visualize your funeral scene, right? And seeing those people showing up in a funeral, whatever, and it's talking about you, oh, you are this disabled person and you did this and that and all those things. And put yourself in a coffin or whatever, an ash or whatever. And then what is the kind of thing you wish to hear? You're hearing it. And then hopefully it's all the things as you expected. This is how I'm going to hear, and then I have a wonderful full life, right? But if you don't feel that way, if you just think, say no, right? That kind of reaction, that's a good empowering point because you're still alive. You could paint your life past. So, so if you don't not empowering enough, usually going back to this scene and kind of motivate yourself a bit to kind of shift yourself back to the course that you wish to going through, you wish to journey. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing it and thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna stop recording here.